thrifters and reseller friends, it's Yvonne. Thrifting for resale number 33. This is where we look a little closer at what I bought while outsourcing at garage sales, thrift stores, estate sales, whatever, and what I think that we could get for an item like this at the current moment, okay? So this is from when I went to the Goodwill. This is from this post. Remember that I did last week on Facebook and Instagram where I was at the Goodwill with my yellow IKEA bags. I have a lot of IKEA bags, so I take my own packing supplies. I think most of you know this. I'm always talking about it. I take my own packing supplies. I hardly ever let the cashiers touch my money makers. So that's what this is. I could not do thrift with me that day. It was kind of a crazy day. There was a lot of people there and the music was super extra loud. So I thought, oh, just let me do my thing today. And I'll do another thrift with me live at the thrift store, you know, as soon as I can. I know some of you, that's the type of video that you love, and I appreciate it. So that's why I make the 4 different types. The thrift with me, live at the thrift store, flea market, or wherever. And then the thrift haul, thrifting for resale, where I'm back home and we take a closer look at what I bought, things you saw, things you didn't see, some surprises, and what I think we can get for it at the current time. And what sold video. Some people just want down and dirty, show me the money, what sold and for how much. Okay, so I do that too. Got one coming up before the end of this week, hopefully. I've had some good sales the last few weeks. And then tips, tricks, a panel show with some people that, you know, most of you know and love as well. Okay, so let's start with, I've got 2 more items here, some nice vintage glassware and unique pieces, some modern, and about 4 or 5 clothing items down here in one of the IKEA bags. So, and 2 pair of shoes. Let's start with the shoes. No one wore these yet. If they did, they wore them once. There's hardly any drag. They're not dirty. This is a collab. Let me show you. Christian Serrano for Payless. I think Payless just went out of business, didn't they? But this is a collab, a higher end designer. I think he's a new designer, isn't he? Is that the guy that won Runway, Heidi Klum's Runway show? Was that him several years ago? I didn't look it up yet. Anyways, so when you do things like this, like Target does a lot of these designer collabs where they'll do like a diffusion line, right? A more affordable price points. This one was for Payless Shoe Store, which I'm almost positive they all went out of business. I know they did in several regions. They're not here anymore. I think it was nationwide. Anyways, you always want to be sure to specify that it was for Target, such and such designer, for Payless. Don't, you know, do that. Anyways, some people will still look for these because when they're gone, right? It's like a limited event. So especially the Target, a lot of us will keep an eye on the Target collabs like that, special events. Even though Target is really like getting kind of grumpy with resellers, you know, that come in and kind of raid the racks during these special collabs. But anyways, so I'm not sure how much because it is the lower end diffusion line, but these are in great shape. Aren't those cute? Some brocade tapestry, and that's kind of a thing right now. Boho, vintagey look. It's got that vintage vibe. Someone is really going to like these, I'm sure. I'm not worried about these at all. I'll probably, even though they were probably very affordable at Payless, because when these kind of things are done, they're done. And some people still want one. Their girlfriend got a pair, but they didn't get a pair. You know what I mean? I'm going to price those reasonable, probably about $30 to $35, and I'm just going to wait my turn because they are in great shape. And those will also go on Poshmark for sure. Poetic License. This reminds me of like Irregular Choice. Not quite as expensive, but Irregular Choice and Poetic License. I don't know if you can see that. Anyways, they make funky shoes. Irregular Choice seems to be the more outrageous and has a better resale value. These were cute with the color block, 2-tone, okay, and a floral. And look at the ombre clear acrylic heel. Adorable, right? So, thought I'd try these. Euro 39. I'll have to refresh my memory. I've got a chart somewhere on my phone what that correlates to US wise. I'm going to guess on these, like a little boreal rhinestone in there too. See the different colors? So I'm going to guess on these, I don't know, about $30, $35 too. We'll see how it goes. I always start a little higher because I do fixed price, best offer. So I always add a little bit so someone can haggle, because that's part of the fun for a lot of people. I don't love auctions on eBay. I'm only doing auctions to run through clearance and to use up my 250 free auctions. So I'm getting really close to my max on my store level where I'm going to have to make some kind of a decision. So that's why I've also been turning to using my auctions to run through clearance items, even though I don't love auctions. I don't like selling through auction. I do not like buying through auction. Very stressful to me to buy through auction. Anyways, the problem is at the store level I'm at, the next jump is like huge. And I know we've begged, like, we need something in between these two levels, right? From, what is it, $28 now to like 65 or 70. I'd have to go look it up at the store levels. But like, you need something in between. And eBay just will not do it. They did add some store tiers, but they did it under the basic store, like some little baby steps. Well, we need like a middle school step, like between the basic store and the next level. Because if I jump to the next level, that's a lot more money and I would have to hustle up a little bit more. And you know, I enjoy being a part-time seller. That keeps it fun. So I'd have a decision to make. But I think I might solve that because I'm rambling. But listen, this is kind of important for those of you that sell. You'll kind of get what I'm thinking and maybe even have a comment to help me think this through, right? An opinion that I hadn't thought of or a point. So I've added more hard goods, right? So my store level, my store listing number is going up. It's over 300 now. And then that doesn't include what you sell. That all counts, right? So since I've added hard goods and more vintage, I've been kind of dipping under $20 because I've been having fun learning and writing some things off my reseller bucket list. Like, oh, I want to sell Limoges. I've got to sell an Indiana glass. I've got to sell a Fenton, this, that, or the other. So sometimes, and plus they're so cheap and quick and easy flip, sometimes I dip under. So I think I need to, if I don't level up my store and hustle a little harder, devote a few more hours a week, haven't made up my mind yet because the holidays are coming too. Oh my gosh. And I swore I would only do this part-time unless I decided to hire a bunch of help, go out and get a warehouse, all that, right? Those of you that work out of your house, I think you get my drift. So I'm going to have to probably make a decision whether to tighten my belt a little bit on what I am picking up as far as hard goods. To keep it over a certain price range. I think I'm about ready to quit, you know, like messing around and knocking stuff off my bucket list just for the heck of it or because it's nostalgic. For instance, I'm going to lay off the salt and pepper shakers, right? I've had so much fun with the salt and pepper shakers, but they don't bring a lot of money in general. Your average ones that we find. This is so cute. So there's that. If anybody has any opinions or comments or ideas of what you think, like were you in a similar situation and what was your thought process, you know, talk to me down in the comments. I read all comments. I answer everybody. I'm not so big now where I just blow people off. I'm answering everybody. Moving on. Okay, see, here's a perfect example. I just thought this was adorable, right? Well, there's a million of them for sale. I didn't even look it up. I said, oh my gosh, that's adorable. It's only $2. I love that little poodle. I used to have poodles. There's a million of them. It's barely worth $20. I don't know. I'll put it in the queue, but this is the kind of stuff that I think I need to stop doing. Just like, oh, that's so cute, vintage. Oh, I haven't sold one of those yet. Okay, I need to get serious, get more business minded, right? Okay, so let me show you a few of these clothing items. So I did save some time to go back and look at clothing. You guys know that's one of my first loves. So this is the O'Lily. This is not vintage. But the last one sold last month for $70. This is a good label. Sometimes I think they do stuff for Anthro, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that yet. $5.99, so I'm going to steam this. Make sure everything's good on it. I might have to even clean it. If not, I'll just steam it, let it air out to dry. It looks good. And hopefully no less than 45. We'll see. We'll see where the market's still at on that. Oh, I'm going to show you that label because that's a good label. That label. Kind of funky vibe. Not quite boho, but a funky-ish vibe. Definitely, if they don't do some things for Anthropologie, it definitely has that vibe. You know, that crowd, like something the Anthropologie crowd would like. This label. But I bet you if I did research, I'd find out they've done some things for Anthropologie. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure. Okay. Vintage. I pass up a lot of these. The reason I liked this one, okay, because you want to be careful. The reason I thought I could get away with this one, half price, $3, is because it's kind of a bomber jacket, okay? So with the bomber style cut, not just an open, loose, you know, jacket. With the bomber style cut, I thought I might be able to get the interest of a younger girl that's going to put together a cool retro outfit, right? So this, I'll put this on Poshmark as well. So, because we're definitely still doing some vintage, and it's going to move a little heavier than it has been into the 80s and 90s, is my opinion, and I'm almost positive I'm right. So that's why I'm picking up some of these pieces. Okay. I know this is a petite. I don't love to do that, but I like this funky 80s. Again, the 80s and 90s, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air stuff, the hip hop, the beginnings of hip hop. The hip hop that was like, you know, more pop, you know, not the, you know what I mean, more pop, more hip and pop on the radio and stuff. Anyways, I'm going to guess, I'm going to try to shoot for about 35, 40 on this too. That's where I'm going to start, okay? We'll see. Oh my gosh, I forgot. I got this for my daughter. She's going to laugh. Somebody tried something. There were a whole bunch of these. Original sleeves. Somebody was trying to start a new business. It doesn't look like it made it. I can't find much information on it. So these are recycled sleeves where they put a band on it. Most of the bands were this fleece, stretch fleece, and they made one of these hats. So they had a whole half a rack full, and I've been looking at them and looking at them. I'm like, well, these just really didn't take off. Nobody, I don't know how to market these. This brand didn't take off. But I know the crunchy crowd and a more eclectic and the new wave of grunge, whatever it's going to finally be called, I think they will like this and get a kick out of it. So I finally bought one for my daughter, and I'll see her reaction, and then I'll kind of know. So it made it to the half price because nobody else was buying them, 50 cents. But it's made out of a sleeve. I picked the coolest one I thought was kind of retro, 88. So I'll get back to you on this, okay? That's funny, huh? And, oh, this is for me. I'm sorry. Look how cool that is, this bodysuit. I'm going to cut the bodysuit part off. That's just for me. I just thought that was cool. A nice little boho retro vibe. Stevie Nicks, if you're a millennial, Florence and the Machine type. That was for me. Okay. And, oh my gosh, I sold so many of these imported sequin vests. I cannot tell you how many of these I sold when I was in Dallas, Texas in the 80s and 90s. So, I steer clear of most of them, but this was cool with this. This will go for a lot of different things, right? So, I think I can pull 25 to 30 out of this. It's just a sequin vest. It has to be a cool pattern and in great shape. Okay, the last piece. This little vintage jacket. This is super adorable. Oh my gosh. I do not even know what brand. That's how old the label is. Probably a Union label in there somewhere. Okay, look at it, you guys. Pink and orange brocade. You know some vintage person is going to die for this. Rhinestone buttons. They're going to be so happy I saved this for them. But I'm going to guess probably 35 to 40 for this cute little jacket, right? All right. So let me put that back and out of the way. Like I always tell you guys, I'll hurt myself. I will. Oh my gosh. So let me get this out of the way. This is modern. But it was still new in box. They just put it out. $3.99. Just a Pokemon set of drinking glasses. Nice thick drinking glasses. Brand new. It was $29.99 was the manufacturer's suggested resale price. I think they're selling for around 15 to 20. Mine's not, everything's new in the box. I'm not sure if I'm going to give these away or I've got some Pokemon youngsters that would like this, or just put it up for 20 bucks. Can't just leave it sit there. It's new in the box. It's $4. It's Pokemon, right? Now, I'm going to show you guys this. Don't get mad, because I'm going to save it to the end, okay? Because this is going to take some time. So those of you that really like jewelry surprises can, you know, will hang out with me. So let's get through everything else for people who don't care about jewelry. So I told you I put jewelry on the docket for next year, hopefully, if I feel comfortable where I'm at with my vintage learning, okay? And it's going really well. Oh my gosh, stop. It's going really well, except for the way I manhandle everything. Okay, my Goodwills have stopped jewelry. Then they took away the jewelry counters. They said, too much time, too much wasted time showing somebody one piece at a time. So they started bagging them up, and they jacked the price up because they know that we've been buying them, right? Well, not me personally, but you know, we as a reseller community and jewelry enthusiasts. $50 for a big bag of jewelry just when I was getting ready to try my first one. So now even those are gone at my local Goodwills, okay? I think now they're just selling them online. So there's no jewelry bags, there's no jewelry counters, there's just a few whatnots on a wall. This was over in their craft department. It's jewelry. I think they just thought it was baubles, crafts, right? So it was all taped up, $6.99. I untaped it with my fingernail. Fingernails are not tools, but whatever. And it's full of jewelry. $6.99. I was like, oh my gosh. See, there's just ways to get around. The Goodwill misses things, or they mess up, right? Like, I found that silver. That's about $200 worth of silver in just one plate. One of our reseller friends, Karen, Lavender Clothesline, she just got a whole grip of silver stuff. They miss things, you guys. Okay, let me get a drink. So we'll do these real quick, and then those of you that are interested in jewelry, then we'll do the jewelry at the end. And those that don't care about jewelry can just move on to the next video or move on with their day. All right? Okay, let me tell you what I found and learned. I found my first Indiana glass. Blue satin. In their brand, they call this baby blue, of course. Sounds right. This is Tiara, I learned. Now, it's only worth about $20, $25. Mine's in, God, that's loud. Mine's in great shape, okay? There's no markings, but I knew it was vintage because of the satiny design, the satiny color of glass, the design, the heaviness. Well, I didn't know, but I was 99% sure, okay? Because I've been taking in a lot of vintage glass content, YouTubers, Dr. Lori, you know, I've already told you who I'm watching. So this is Indiana glass. Not worth a whole lot. It's very heavy, so I'll put it up for about $20, $25 with everything else. I'm okay if it doesn't sell. It's not real foo-foo-y. I'm okay if it doesn't sell. I like the angular design. And now I can say I sold some Indiana glass. Indiana glass, for the most part, what we find in the thrift stores in general, okay, listen to all my quantitative, you know, keywords. isn't worth a whole lot. It's not like finding, I don't know, a better quality brand. But it was one of the popular, affordable glass lines, in the back vintage, so you can find it. That's what I learned about Indiana glass. Okay, I'm bound and determined to break it, right? This is Fenton. One of the workers was actually unloading, and he brought it over to me. And at first I thought that's awful foo-fooey, but I think I know what it is. I tend to the more abstract, right? That way, if it doesn't sell, I'm okay to keep it. This is a Fenton, little satin milk glass, hand-painted, artist signed. Let me get that up there for you guys. There it is. Is it doing it? So it's easy to look that up and get a value on it and all the proper keywords. And it is a Fenton. So I will sell another Fenton piece. It's $1.99. I think they're going for about 25, about 25-ish. Okay. This looks like Murano. It is not. It doesn't have the quality of Murano. A lot of people still will say Murano glass or Murano style. I'm not going to do that. This is definitely not Murano. It's just a copycat. Swung vase, stretch vase, little bud vase. It's cute though. I like the ombre purple to clear cased glass. So, and it was $1.59. Okay, so that should be a quick and easy $15, $20, maybe if I'm lucky. If not, it's not exactly something this style that I would want to add to my art glass, but anyways, it's cute enough. Those are some of the keywords. It is not Murano, and I'm not going to say that it is. I'm not going to put Murano style on eBay because they don't like that. This might be a Fenton. I'm not sure. I think this is Omnibus, if I'm saying it right. Omnibus. I think that's what this one is, but it's adorable. It was $1.59. A little controlled bubble bunny paperweight with iridescent pearlized finish. Okay, so $1.59. Super cute. I do collect some paperweights, but I only do the abstract ones. I don't do anything figural, figural, or figurine. I think you can say both. I'm just not sure if I'm saying the figural right. Anyway, someone will like that. That's super cute. I'm going to guess. I'm pretty sure it's not Fenton or Murano. I'm pretty sure it's Omnibus. But it's not just clear. Okay, it has that nice finish on it. So that's, I think it's going to allow me to make, $5, $8 more bucks than just if it was plain. I'm going to guess around the $20 range. I'm going to guess because of that extra finish. If it didn't have that, probably $10 is my guess. I did sell one of the art glass, the Glass Eye Studio that I showed you guys the other week. I did sell that for $30. That was the winner out of that bunch. It was signed. Ones that aren't signed, and if you can't attribute it to a better maker, they're not really worth that much. That one went for $30, and he or she has asked, do I have anything else by Glass Studio or anything else in the purple feathered? So there are a lot of collectors for that kind of thing, like I am. And sometimes we will bend our rules and buy a piece that's not, from an epic glass house, but not going to get as much money. Okay. Dorothy Thorpe. Wow. This is Silver Fade. It might be a Dorothy Thorpe. Some people call theirs Dorothy Thorpe, but I still need to learn how to tell. There's no markings on it. So some people just say Dorothy Thorpe on anything that's this Silver Fade because I think she was like the big name that it gets attributed to. I think she did the most or made it the most popular. Sometimes people aren't the first, but they're the ones that made something the most popular. Do you know what I mean? I have some Silver Fade glasses before I even started doing vintage. I just liked them for myself. And I've checked to see if I had any Dorothy Thorpe, and I don't. But this would fit in nicely, so it's perfect. So It was only about 75 cents with the sale. So I may put it up for sale. I want to figure out exactly what this is. It's really good. It's not scratched. When I hold it up to the light, none of the silver is scratched, okay? Because that's important. So we'll see. We'll see about this, okay? It might just go into my collection or it might go up for sale. But if you're learning like me, that's the deal. Dorothy Thorpe. But some people misuse that name, okay? Just know that. Okay, this is not a Murano, but it does have that vibe to it, right? This is, I am pretty sure, Medina, if I'm saying it right. Medina. Not an extra vowel in there, Medina. I'm pretty sure there is a label underneath this sticker. I washed this, but I haven't removed the sticker because there's a label underneath it that looks just like a Medina label. Some were signed and some had labels, is what I taught myself through the internet. So that label can be worth $5 or $10, if you know what I mean. Without it, I can't really prove. But if I can keep that label, that will help me to be able to say this is a Medina, if I'm saying it right. I believe this is called confetti glass. I'm not sure if that's totally accurate, but I would probably still put it in my keywords because sometimes people that are looking for things, they don't exactly know the perfect, exact, precise, purest names for everything. Like they might, like maybe this is called something else, but they're like, oh, it's similar to confetti glass. So, you know, I'm going to type in, I want a confetti glass bud vase, you know. So that, for that reason, I would go ahead and put in that in my keyword as well, even if I find out it's not precisely confetti glass. And that is different than putting in, say, Dorothy Thorpe on a piece that is not Dorothy Thorpe, right? That's different because that's just more of a generic term, right? I'm not misusing a brand name. So anyways, if it's a Medina, it's kind of heavy, very quality, super cute, you guys. Look at that little blown glass face. Isn't that cute? About 20, no more than 25 probably, but $1.99. Now this one I have higher hopes for. I'm still working on this. It's not signed. I'm still working on this one, okay? I only paid, I can't remember, I watched it, like $4 at the Salvation Army. I threw this in. This is from the Salvation Army. This is a conch shell. This is a conch shell. Oh my gosh. I'll spell it for you guys. Isn't it gorgeous? Kind of heavy, really pretty. I need to find out what this swirl pattern is. This blown glass piece. It is perfect. It does set. Technically, this is the bottom piece of the smooth pontil area, but I notice it sets quite nicely other ways too, but technically this is kind of how it should set. Super cute, huh? Weighs about 4 or 5 pounds. Can't give you a price on it yet. I'm seeing prices all over the map, but I haven't found this exact colorway and the overall signature design. You know what I mean? To know who to attribute it to. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be no less than $40. That's what I'm thinking. Don't hold me to that just yet, okay? Please. Now, one more vintage, then I've got a couple modern pieces. I love this. I found some more grapes. Oh my gosh. These are 99.9% perfect. There is one scratch on one of them from where it sets like this. All the rest of them are perfect. No hazing, no scratching, just like as if it was just made. $1.59. That's a real wood stick that it's on too. These are the lucite acrylic. I'm in love with this. I've been looking for a pair to keep for myself. Preferably, I'd like to have purple. I haven't found a nice pair yet. You know, thrifting, sourcing, cheap. I'm thrifty rich. So I might decide to make these the ones that I keep. I want a pair for myself. Aren't they just awesome? $1.59. But if I do sell them, I'm not going to let these go for any less than about 35-ish, because I don't care if ones are selling a little cheaper like this. These are almost immaculate. Okay? I've got some modern things, but let me finish up the vintage. This was interesting to me. These, I think they're homemade little doily set from some tapestry, but they were super cheap. $2.99 for the two big ones, $1.99 for the two small ones. And then at a different store I found this that kind of, I thought, okay, it's not a perfect match, but it's pretty darn close, right? This is unique. Now this does have a brand name. I don't know if this goes with it though. It says Schmidt, so I'm gonna have to check that out. It might go with it because it talks about the music box. It's got an old style music box. And what really cinched it for me is, even though it's a little dirty, there was a key stuck in this ring section. It actually works to lock it, you guys. Oh, it does. I tested it. I don't think I have this down. There it goes. It actually works to lock it. So I'm like, man, $6.99. That's a lot. But I'm going to go ahead and do this because it still has, the music box works, the lock still works, and then I found I've got these things. I think I'm going to try to put it as a set. Even though it's not a perfect match, I'm going to try to put this as a set, right? And see what someone thinks. I don't know. I'm just trying to think outside the box here. These made perfect sense to me. Very, very like vintagey vibe on that. Super like Victorian bordella vintage vibe. So I can't tell you what I'm going to list that at yet. Sorry, I'm going to have to work with that. Now, I don't care if this sells either. But for learning purposes, I do need to find out what this is. I don't know why people don't mark their stuff. How do you make beautiful things, handmade, hand blown, and you don't mark it? Oh my gosh, mark it and put the date. But isn't this fabulous? Google is having Google Lens, I use Google Lens, is having a really hard time, or I'm giving Google Lens a hard time with the way trying to photograph it for them to find it. So it's got some telltale marks on it. Hopefully that will help me. Like these little pinchings have a pattern. I'll use this to try to help me. Isn't it fabulous? Footed pedestal fruit bowl. Compote. Can you say compote if it's not a lid? I'm not sure about that. Still learning. I coughed up $7. That seemed like a no-brainer. I'm gonna let you guys look at that again. It's so beautiful. It is fabulous. I'm going to do some more research on it, put it up for sale. Even if it turns out to be just not anything of a great name to where I can't up the price, you know, the value's not up there, I'm still not going to let it go for anything less than like, I don't know, $80, because I'd rather keep it. This vintage piece will fit in nicely with some of my modern art glass. I love this. I do. Okay. A couple more things and then we'll get to the jewelry. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to show you guys these modern. I was going to do the modern. Because this is a winner. Doesn't look like much, does it? But looked very mod. Kind of like a mushroom. It was $3.99. Guess what? It is a thing. Kareem Rashid. I'll throw something up. One side or the other. He is a funky designer. If you're older, trying to think who I thought. Longchamp was that? There were a couple of photographers like in the 70s, 80s, and 90s that did unusual stuff. Their photography and their art direction was very funky and unusual and eclectic, and it was in most of the fashion magazines as well, and a lot of coffee table books. Can't think right offhand. I own quite a few coffee table books of these modern photographers, art directors. So this guy is one of the guys that's hot now. Let me get this up there. Okay, there it is. So, still new. Here's the name again. This is called UFO White. It's a vase. This was a collab though. So it's not going to be one of his like main line pieces that would be more. It's kind of like with clothing when we talked about diffusion, collabs and diffusion to make to make things for the general public, shall we say, so we can feel thrifty rich. Anyways, so this was, let me put on my glasses and tell you. I forgot already. 6-inch vase. Oh, I forgot who this was for. I looked at it. I don't want to peel off the label. Darn it. When I'm done, I'll look that up and put it up here too, okay? It's the collab for somebody. But that's worth a little bit of money. And they're getting harder and harder to find because it was definitely a limited run, okay? But if you find some of his non-collab for specialty store pieces, they are very expensive. They're the kind of pieces celebrities buy. Like, you're not going to find them in our houses probably. Okay, and a Ray Dunn piece. I don't even know how I knew. I'm just like, probably Ray Dunn. Let's take a peek at it. It is. So this is new. Ray Dunn. I paid $3.99. Ray Dunn by Magenta. So I don't think it's worth a whole lot, but I've only found 2 Ray Dunn pieces in all these, years. And I didn't even sell the last one. I kept it, the Hello Cup. Okay, gonna sell this one, mark it off my list, and be done. From now on, only Ray Dunn that's worth, $20 and over. Okay, so I'm going to keep this too. This is a little Betsy Johnson makeup bag with a bunch of mod sugar skulls. Poshmark is full of Betsy Johnson stuff because I think the girls are getting it at the outlets. Like Ross is jammed with Betsy Johnson items. So she definitely did some lines, some cheaper versions. I wish she would be careful. Her clothing started out very expensive. She's one of the funkier designers like the 80s and 90s. And now things are getting watered down. Like Coach did that, and I'm pretty sure they regret it. They're having to build their brand back up. They watered it down. You can't really do that. People who buy labels for status symbol, they don't want too many watered down lines where, oh my gosh, this is just me telling the facts, okay? I'm not I don't carry a Coach purse, okay? They don't want every Tom, Dick, and Harry with a Coach purse, and then the fake ones, of course. So they really do themselves a disservice when they water down their lines too much. Those of you that do purses or are into Coach, you kind of know what I'm talking about, right? They're struggling to get it back up there. Anyways, I fear for Betsy Johnson. The last Betsy Johnson thing I bought was a dress. It was her Bambi dress. It was from the runway, and I sold it for $80. I don't really mess around too much with this stuff or the jewelry because it's all up in Ross and the outlet liquidation stores, and so it's all up in Poshmark too. Anyways, one more item and we'll do I paid $4.99 for this. I'm gonna keep it though. I paid $5 because it's for myself. It's in great shape. Nobody used it yet. It's all plastic inside because it's a cosmetic bag. So see, it's all plasticky inside. I have a black caboodles. I'm gonna add that to it. Okay, before we get to the jewelry, some of you might be saying, "What, Yvonne? No smiley face?" Nope. I did find a smiley face. I'm only buying unique smiley faces. I have a lot, so now I'm only buying unique or vintage. This is not vintage, but this is unique. Look, it's a happy ghost, happy smiley face ghost. I'm going to use this for Halloween. I paid $1.50. I think it's a planter because it's got a liner in it and it had a little bit of dirt. But yeah, I still got a smiley face. I'm so happy. He's cute, huh? Reminds me of those, is it hug mugs or whatever? Those mugs that have this, it has like a 3D relief nose on it. Anyway, so yes. Whew. Okay, how long did we go? Oh, Lordy. Over half an hour. Well, let's take a peek at the jewelry. This won't take long because there's nothing real epic in here. But those of you that like jewelry might be a little excited for me. Especially if you live in my area and are suffering with me that there's no more jewelry at our Goodwills in this region. Since Denver took over this region, they're screwing around with a lot of things. Okay, so this is full of jewelry. Most of it is very modern. There's a couple of pieces that look somewhat vintagey, but no names and not real high end. This seems to be a pin and scarf holder. So that I might try to sell with the Cocoa Bond. Jewelry girls, help me. Cocoa Bond in the middle. This is just one of those purse hangers, you know, that unfolds and, you know, you sit on the table. You guys, everything else, wait a minute, here's a vintage piece. This is a vintage brooch. That's kind of cute. No name on it. But I will pull out these vintagey looking pieces and look them up. I think someone made this. Kind of a chainmail looking thing, right? I don't know. I'll look it up and see if it belongs to any of the makers. Like, what is it? Those at-home parties. I don't even know. I don't do that. Here's another kind of bobbly. So I'll try to figure out what's good in here. The modern stuff, but that is cute. I might put it together as a little lot and sell. I might keep this one. One of the things I do love as far as jewelry, I don't wear a lot of jewelry, but I'm fond of ankle bracelets and older pins. I love to take some kind of a pin, you know, and like wear it with a modern outfit. So I've been doing that, oh my gosh, almost all my life. But it's funny because now that I'm in my 50s, I'm like, oh man, now that's kind of age appropriate. I don't even, like, do I want to still do it? So I don't know. Because now it's not like, how would you say? It's not, oh my gosh, ironic. It's not ironic anymore because I am of the age where a lot of women like to wear their brooches. But still, if I pair maybe a couple of them, put it in a different position, pair it with a funkier outfit. So I might still keep this one. And there are some snowflakes in here, okay? There are a lot of, I think that's vintage too, right? Because of the back, would you guys say? Because of the back that's kind of a vintagey. So, and the other ones are modern, but pretty. It's not catching the cute Boreal. So, I'll probably lot all of these other snowflake pins together. This is the one for sure that I'm keeping besides that one vintage. I'm keeping this one for sure. Wait a minute, I gotta put this down because I want to show you guys. I'm gonna keep this one. Look! Yes, this is probably the one that would sell the fastest, but not for a whole lot. It's not, you know, it's not like a name brand or anything. There's nothing stamped in here. It's modern. I think you can pick stuff up at Ross like this for like $10, $15. But still, that's not bad for $6.99, right? Definitely, I can get my money back. You know, there's enough pieces in here for $6.99. There's no gold or silver that I could tell. There's one piece I might check out, but I don't think so. It's this one. It's not coming through, is it? Okay, I might check out that one. Okay. Oh, this one. going to put this down. This one somebody might be able to help me with. This is vintage, I'm pretty sure. There we go. But I don't see anything on the back so far. Okay. So that was fun to find some of this. Not quite, you know, what I had in mind for my first jewelry thing. But there's a few winners in here. Definitely worth $6.99. The spider pin alone I love. I'm going to keep this one. So, a couple of vintage things to sell. I'll lot up the other stuff. This is just a big bobbly thing. I don't think that's real turquoise, and there's no brand name associated, okay? So I'll just lot up that other bauble stuff. And I'll keep the box. So, alright, you guys. Nothing else in here really the pieces I'm not showing you are just are like this cheap costume. This is so cheap costume. I don't even know if that's worth anything to lot up. Like, that's almost an insult. Alright, you guys. I think overall it was a good trip. It was fun. I got some winners, some vintage stuff. I learned some new things, marked a few things off my bucket list. And again, if you have any opinions about, have you ever been stuck at this where like, okay, do I up my store level or just up my average sale price? You know, just like quit tinkering around with things under $20. This old video will be coming up next. Have a great day. I'll see you next time or in one of your videos.